right, I just got back from a mountain trip, and in the last stretch of the drive, I could smell my brakes. I don't know which one, but I'm gonna find out right now. 108, 136, same, 108. Holy shit.
This hurts! Nothing to see here, please!
222 degrees, passenger side rear. And these are brand new brakes. The rear just got brand new calipers and rotors. I wish I could say that I'm a responsible Jeep owner and I ordered all this stuff and it showed up a week later and I'm ready to do the work. But I hate doing brake work. It's one of my least favorite things to do on a Jeep. I'm pretty sure that I know what the problem is. I'm pretty sure it's a collapsed brake line on the passenger side that's causing that caliper to lock up. So I ordered these brake lines. It's been literally 4 months, 3 months, I think, since I ordered these, and they've been sitting on my shelf so long that I actually had a chance to fly back to the States to visit family, and I brought back the entire front brake kit with me so I could just do it all at once and get it over with. I don't know what it is about brakes. I've always hated doing brake work. Okay, here we go. So this is the kit of parts for the rear lines, the rear brake lines. Got 2 banjo bolts, 2 clips that hold the hard and soft lines in place on the axle tube, and 4 crush washers. So I went ahead and checked all these nuts.
These nuts? Got him!
The main nut this is where the hard line meets the flexible line. That's an 18 mil on the flexible line side. And then on the axle tube, on the hard line, we got an 11 mil. So those two, you'll have to hold them together and twist.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh.
And then the actual banjo bolt that bolts into the caliper, that's gonna be a 14 mil. So I'm gonna cut the video here and get a better angle as I pull this apart. So we got 14 mil. Get my pan situated here. Making an effort not to grunt too much as I'm doing this. It's kind of an awkward angle that I'm lying at. We're not all lucky enough to have $1 million garages. I feel like I'm pretty lucky under the circumstances. I live in Taipei City, and I'm pretty much the only one out of my friends, immediate friends, that has a garage. So I can't complain too much. There we go. Now we need the 12. And on the other side, we got the 18. Nice and easy. Old line, new line. I need to double check these threads, damn it. Yep, it's definitely a 3/8 24. So let's see if I can get this thing threaded. My main concern was crossing the threads. That's what I do not want to do. So that. There we go. This Such an awkward angle. But anyway, you got your crush washer. Goes into the sleeve. Your other crush washer goes on the other side. You got brake fluid running in my armpits. Dude, tell me this isn't the wrong thread. Son of a bitch. I gotta use the old bolt. Apparently, they're not a match. All right, so new crush washers on an old bolt. It is what it is. So again, we got the bolt through the sleeve. Sleeve is sandwiched with crush washers. And there we go. Get my 14 mil. I'm gonna come back and torque all these to spec after I'm done. Okay. All right, so I just want to clarify, if you're going to buy this brake line kit, these banjo bolts are going to be useless if you're running PowerStop calipers, because for whatever reason, these bolts are threaded to M10-1, whereas the PowerStop threads are 3/8-24. This is the bolt that I pulled out of the PowerStop. So you're going to need to use your old banjo bolts or whatever banjo bolt you have in your caliper. And another thing to mention is that I just found this, which is pretty troubling. I got the bolt to run down into this caliper nice and easy, but this one here I can't get started because at some point in the machining process or remanufacturing process, somebody dropped this on a corner of something or dropped a corner of something on it.
Whoa! I fell on my booty!
Come on down here and let me tap that ass.
Pretty damn annoying for what I paid for these. So that's a wrap for the rear. I torqued the banjo bolt here to 23 foot-pounds. I didn't torque this one because I don't have a torque wrench that fits that configuration, but I just snugged it down real good and hopefully it'll be okay. So now that I got both of these lines squared away, I can move on to the front. I like to kick the lugs loose before I jack the Jeep up. Right. Now we got the calipers. These got to come off. There should be 2 bolts back here. Okay. There's 1. 2. I know. Yours are harder to get off. I live on a tropical island and it only snows in the mountains, so we have no road salt. There's the rotor. It's actually not in terrible shape. Oh yeah, it's a little bit ribby in here. All right, so we should have, wow, that one just popped right out. We should have a 14 mil bolt holding the line on. There we go. Yeah, I hope I'm not going to hate myself for not ordering new brake lines for the front, but I guess we'll find out. Okay. That hang out down there. I think we're good. Okay. So you'll notice there's a little sticker on here. It says front driver's side. You got to pay attention to that because the slots are angled so I guess they release gases in this direction as opposed to forward. That's my best guess at least. Let's set this up here for now. So I'll take one of these. Pop that in there. There we go. Okay, now we're set. So you got the notches over here and just a little lip on the top. I got some medium strength thread lock that I'm going to put on these new bolts. Got my crush washers here. One thing I did do was pull this pad back off again. I wanted to get in here and really grease the back side of the caliper where the pad mounts, just to ensure that I'm not going to get any squeaking in there. So now that I know that I can get these pads on before I start mounting the caliper, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Get this down on here, like so. And this should be good to go. So what I'm going to do is mount this caliper first and then pull the line off of the old caliper and put it on this caliper. Okay, so let's see if I can get this top one started first. And in the bottom. All right, I'm bored as shit. If you made it this far, you know how to bolt your wheels back on and finish the job. There's only two things left: bleed your brakes and go through the braking procedure for the pads. If you have an 03 or later, when you're bleeding your brakes, you got to have your ignition on because of your brake proportioning valve. So turn your key forward, bleed your brakes, and then go and do the braking procedure. It's important that you follow proto on that. If you don't, you could end up with a dead spot or possibly even a warped rotor. I'm gonna load this up tomorrow. I'm gonna give it the big test. I'm gonna take it back up in the mountains with all my camping gear and test the brakes out and just see how hot they get. I made it. 255. 277. 252. Thermometer's kind of all over the place, but hot, but I did just come down out of the mountains.
life is a pitiless marathon through misery, anguish, despair, grief, pain. That radiator's making a weird noise. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
I don't even feel like I'm working with reality at this point. I was nearly 6,400 feet above sea level up in that mountain yesterday and drove all the way down on the brakes, and this caliper barely hit 250. It was actually not even the hottest caliper on the Jeep. That was the front passenger side. And yet somehow the drive home on the highway from the base of the mountain, which was a roughly 2-hour drive, cooked this wheel to such a degree that the decal melted off of my center hub, and this paint was soft like fruit roll-ups. So as it stands, I got new calipers, new pads, and new lines, and I got nothing left to really replace. The only thing I can think of is there's something clogging the line. I'm gonna go ahead and do a brake flush this weekend, and hopefully I shake something loose. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to say this is probably a bad caliper. Well, it's been a few days since that last clip, and I'm struggling to find a way to conclude this video that's not hugely anticlimactic, but the problem seems to have fixed itself. It's been 4 days, I think, since I recorded that last clip, and I've been progressively driving the Jeep further and further while monitoring the temperature of the rotors and the calipers. And that rear right wheel has never gotten anywhere near that temperature again. And it's never actually gotten any hotter than the other three. I didn't flush the system, the brake system yet. I hadn't had a chance to do that yet. So I have no idea what's going on with it. It's perfectly fine now. I mean, I built up enough confidence that a friend and I actually drove to, we drove about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours south to go camping on the beach 2 nights ago. So that trip involved mountain driving, it involved highway driving at, you know, probably 65, 70 miles an hour. I stopped at rest stops and gas stations and checked the rotor temperature with my little thermometer at every stop. So yeah, I'm gonna say the problem is solved. I'm gonna get the brake fluid flushed anyway, just to be safe, because I know that it probably needs it. But yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, call it a wrap. But I don't know if any of this was informative or useful in any way. To if you're still even watching it, I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.